If you've been coding for a while, probably you have experienced this. You install a given package and suddenly something that used to run, you cannot run it anymore. So you're not doing anything wrong, you're just missing an important concept called environments. So here we'll go through what an environment is and how Conda can help you manage this process in a smoothly and confident way. So when you're coding in Python, you are always using a specific Python version together with a set of libraries that you have installed, like NumPy or Pandas, for example. But the problem is that once you start installing more and more packages, conflicts can start to happen between the different packages. To solve this, you can use environments. An environment is basically an isolated space on your computer where you can have a specific version of Python and a specific version of all the packages you want to install. So, like this, instead of having just one single Python setup with all the libraries installed there, you have different environments, each one of them containing different versions of the same package. An easy way to think about this is that your computer is like a building, and each environment is a separate room inside the building. So each room has its own tools and is separate from the other ones. So what you do in one room does not affect the other ones. So then, if you want to use these different environments, you just need to step in the different rooms and use them. From a technical point of view, actually, an environment is just a folder on your system. So when you switch from one to the other environment, you're just telling your system to use a different folder. So Conda or Mamba are tools that help you create and manage these environments. So for example, with Conda, you can create a new environment with a command like conda create -n, the name of your new environment, and then you can already specify the Python version you desire. To work inside a specific environment, you need to activate it or step inside that folder. Activating it is just simply running this command conda activate and the name of your environment. Once you are inside the environment, everything you run will be run with the packages you installed inside this environment. When you're done working in an environment, or if you want to switch to another one, you can just deactivate it using the command conda deactivate. This brings you back to the base environment, which is the conda's default environment. So the environments, either created with Conda or Mamba, are especially useful when you work on multiple projects because, like this, you can keep each project on its own environment and you can let Conda manage the setup. Like this, you reduce the dependency and the conflicts that can make your work way harder. You can also export an environment and share it with someone else and making it easier to reproduce the same setup on another machine. But let's practice now. Okay, so let's start. I'm already on my Linux machine and we are going to install now Conda. We have two options, Anaconda or Miniconda. Anaconda is an installer that also installs a lot of different packages for data science, so it's a bit more heavy. And then we have Miniconda, which is a bit lighter version, which is what we are going to install now. So to start this installation, we are going to check how we do it on the website. So we see here the different steps to install Miniconda. So on Linux, the first thing that we have to do is actually create a folder called Miniconda on our own folder. So we'll do that. Okay. So we see that the Miniconda folder is already created. And now we will get a script that will install Miniconda. So we'll just paste this line machine and now it's finished. Let's continue with the installation. So now we have to run the script that we just downloaded with this line. And now it's doing the proper installation of Conda. And then at the end we can just remove this script that we used for the installation to complete. So now it's installing this base environment, which is the default one that we'll be using. And it's finished. We'll just proceed with removing this extra file so that we don't have extra files lying around. And now we need just to refresh our terminals. So now you see here before we are running it Rita at Ubuntu 2, but now we are running it in base. You can see that we are in an environment called base, which is the default one. So now we don't have only one where we put everything, but we have specific environments whose names will appear here. And now just to finalize, we'll just initiate Conda on all the shells so that it's always on every time we open a shell. So we'll just do this so that we don't have problems. And it's also saying to take effect, we'll close and reopen our current shell. Okay, so I just closed and reopened my terminal, and we can see that we are back again to the base environment of the Conda that we just installed. So now we'll proceed to create a new environment. So we'll create a new environment called projects, for example. So we'll do Conda create -n, and then the name of the environment, we'll call it project 1, for example, and we can specify already some of the things that we would like to be included in this environment. So for example, we'd like it to have Python and a specific version, so Python equal to, for example, 3.11, and then NumPy equal to another version, like for example 1.26. Okay, so the environment was created. We can check which environments we have now with this command, conda info //ems. And we can see here that we have indeed the base environment that comes as default and this project 1 that we just created. So to do something inside the project, inside environment project 1, we just do conda activate project 1. And you can see that now you're already inside project 1 and you should have the specific version of NumPy and Python that you installed. Then, if you want to go back and go inside another environment, you just do conda deactivate. And now you are back to base. You don't need to specify conda activate base because when you deactivate, you always go back to the base environment. And that's it. Then whenever you want to use a specific environment, you just do it like this. You activate it and you deactivate it whenever you want. Okay. I hope you liked it and thank you for watching.